Initially, we had lot of problems convincing. As I said, during the process of designing, we had there were a lot of fights and a lot of convincing had to happen. Initially, it looked like a waste of space. These corridors and then the way it was opening up and all. And at one time, Vijay Kumar had to do an exercise to check what is the percentage of corridor space. Actually, if you look at it, it's a double loaded corridor, right? You know what is double loaded corridor, right? Now, single loaded corridor is you have series of rooms and corridor with an open space on one side, which is normally preferred in most of the schools and colleges, because the moment you make it double loaded, there is the sound echoes, though, there's a reverberation of sound and it becomes very, very noisy. What we have done here is, you imagine two sets of classrooms in section with a corridor in the middle. If you have it like happens in most of the hotels, right? Most of the hotels you have a double loaded corridor, but those corridors become extremely dark. You have to always have artificial light there. Now, if you move this classroom little away and bring in the light from the top, it still remains a double loaded corridor. What you are doing is adding one bridge across there to access. But the advantage that you get is you are bringing light into it, you are bringing air into it, you are bringing nature into it, and that's precisely what we have done. So it's a very, very simple plan. Just created these openings to bring nature in and created these corridors which become really longer. Otherwise, this room could have come and sat there. So just by doing this very, very simple thing, you sort of try to solve these problems. So when Vijay Kumar did the exercise and compared it with one of the single loaded corridor schools, right? Actually, this turned out to be the lesser corridor space than the other. The reason these corridors look larger, because standing at one place you can see all the movement area. There is no movement area which is hidden, When it goes to second floor, if you go and stand there, you will see the second floor corridor also. So in a typical hotel situation, you will see these corridors which are all not visible at a single time. You see only one. Here you are seeing all the floors at a time. So that's how you start working with sections and try to sort of understand it. Our idea was each of these layers will have a different color, which eventually didn't happen, but that is something which would symbolize each department getting into it. And that's where the corridor height changes and all.